Hey, welcome to episode of Tuesday Night Beer School with me, Chad of Chad's Beer Reviews. My girlfriend slash student, Cristina. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Great. Last weekend we went to a homebrew competition out of town, 2 days. So you finally got to see like what judging is like in real life.
And sample a lot of beers.
Yeah, there's actually another competition this weekend too. All right, so I needed Christina's help for today's category. This is a very big beer, very big style. American Barleywine, a very strong, malty, hoppy, bitter American ale with a rich palate, full mouthfeel, and warming aftertaste, suitable for contemplative sipping. Doesn't that make you want to, just that description alone is pretty...
It's exciting.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so not much to say about the comments, although they did make a point of saying many U.S. breweries seem to have discontinued their barley wine, something I noticed. This history is very long, basically West Coast invention. Characters and ingredients: pale malt with some specialty malts. Dark malts used with great restraint. Many varieties of hops can be used, but typically includes American English ale yeast. Greater emphasis on hop bitterness, flavor, and aroma than English barley wine. And then differs from a double IPA in that the hops are not extreme. The malt is more forward, and the body is fuller and often richer. Has more residual sweetness than a double IPA. All right, so here's our vitals. 50 to 100 IBUs. That is very bitter. 9 to 18 SRM, so, not too dark, not too light. Right there in the middle. But ABV, 8 to 12%. And they list Sierra Nevada Bigfoot as one of the examples, which is what we're going to drink tonight. This is the 2023 vintage. So this was bottled in January, so pretty fresh. You can actually let this age for a year or 5. And we got another... This is a local one. I've had this quite a few times from Tampa Bay Brewing Company, Moose Killer barley wine. It's 10% ABV, and Sierra Nevada is 9.6. We got our little samples here, and as always, we start with aroma. So we're going to start with Tampa Bay Moose Killer. So very floral, kind of a bready maltiness.
It is definitely malty.
I don't get toast. Do you?
No.
It's kind of a fruity character. I also get a lot of alcohol.
Mainly that's what I'm getting.
Yeah, it's almost like a rum or vanilla kind of character to it.
Yeah, vanilla, you're right.
Yeah, it's not quite as malty as most barley wines. In fact, let's check out what this Bigfoot is. So this one's even hoppier.
Oh, that's different.
It's quite citrusy.
Mm-hmm.
Way less malty than the Moose Killer.
Yeah, definitely. Very different.
I should have grabbed a coffee to reset our nose, I will say that the alcohol on this one is... Although, I mean, it's 9.6. It's quite similar to 10, but it's like... On the Sierra Nevada, it's a lot smoother. I also get like a big caramel note on here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get that?
It's sweet.
Yeah. Strong malt and hop aroma dominates, I agree. Hops are moderate to assertive, showing a range of American New World. Yeah. Citrusy, fruity, resiny are classic attributes, but others are possible. Strong, grainy, bready, toasty, light caramel or neutral malt richness, but typically not with darker caramel, roast, or deep fruit aspects. That's quite a run-on sentence. Low to moderate strong esters and alcohol. Lower in the balance than the malt and hops. Intensity fades with age. I feel like that's like a really poorly written description. So,
Yeah.
Aromas on a scale of 1 to 12. All right, so we'll do Tampa Bay first. I'm gonna give that a 9 out of 12. What do you think?
I'll give that one a 10.
10?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, appearance. Hold on. I don't know how these look on camera. This one looks orange. This one looks red, but to me they're both quite orange.
Yeah, the Bigfoot is a little darker.
Yeah, the Bigfoot's definitely a little darker. Yeah.
It's more... There's a little rosy tint to it.
Yeah, they both have like a little bit of haze to it. They're
Mm-hmm.
not crystal clear.
Yeah.
They both have like pretty much the same, what do you call it, like a beige foam
Yeah.
to light, like a dark beige foam.
It's pretty equal.
Yeah. And I'm sure you can't really tell on here, but you'll actually be able to see the alcohol legs on the glass. Once you get to the bottom, like that clear film, that's the alcohol. All right, so let's check the specs on appearance. Color ranges from amber to medium copper, rarely up to light brown. Ruby highlights common. That's funny, didn't you? Oh, you said rosy. But
Rosy.
Yeah. Moderately low to large off-white. Yeah, they give you quite a range on the foam there. May have low head retention. Good to brilliant clarity. May have some chill haze. The color may appear to have grape depth as is viewed through a thick glass lens. Legs possible. Yeah. I would give both these the 3 out of 3 on appearance.
They both match that in their own way.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 for both.
Okay. All right, so it's the best part. We will start with the Moose Killer. Cheers. So I get quite a bit of malt on here, but I also get like, it's hoppy, but I'm trying to think of like it's like a resin, like pine resin. Almost a little soapy.
Soapy. A little bit.
I get a little caramel.
Yeah.
I get the alcohol, obviously.
Yeah, that's very strong.
It's just the clean rubbing alcohol type, very neutral. Yeah, this one's interesting because I think it might actually be a little too bitter for a barley wine. Like I would say that's like very assertive hops. It almost strikes me as more of like a double or triple IPA than a true barley wine. All right, so we'll try the Bigfoot. Cheers.
Cheers. Definitely not as bitter.
Yeah, that's the first thing I noticed.
A
Like-
little floral even.
Just like off the mouthfeel, it's like I noticed like it was thicker and stickier, which usually indicates like more malt.
Mm-hmm.
It has this like kind of a dried fruit flavor to it. It's almost I don't want to say butterscotch, but I mean it's not the same kind of caramel as the other beer.
No.
I think it's more bready, just like straight up bready malt.
Do you get perfumey?
Yeah, I think it's off the hops. I mean, it's Sierra Nevada. They're going to use those classic citrusy West Coast hops. Citrusy or floral. That one, I mean, that still has a pretty hefty hop bite to it.
Yes.
But it seems to be, oddly enough, the Sierra Nevada is actually less hoppy than the Moose Killer, at least in my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so let's see how these beers compare to the specs on flavor. Similar malt and hop flavors as the aroma. Same descriptors. Yeah, that's such lazy writing. Whatever it smelled like is how it should taste like. Yeah,
Same descriptors apply.
Yeah. Moderately strong to aggressive bitterness. All right, well, I think both of these beers are pretty aggressive on the bitterness. Tempered by a rich malty palate. Yeah, that's for both. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Moderate to high hop flavor. Yep. Low to moderate esters. I mean, I really don't get... It's a pretty clean yeast. I'm not getting like, fruitiness or anything. Noticeable alcohol, but not solventy. Yeah, I would agree. Moderately low to moderately high malty sweetness on the palate with a somewhat malty to dry but full finish. Yeah, I agree. It's not like it's a Bud Light that finishes clean. Age will often dry out the beer and smooth out the flavors. The balance is malty, but always bitter.
What is solventy?
Like it smells like rubbing alcohol or
Okay.
some kind of cleaner, like industrial strength cleaner. All right, so I just realized that we forgot to have separate score sheets. So we'll start with the Moose Killer. I mean, they give you like such a range that it can, like it said, low or high, for like hops and malt. So it's like you.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so for the Moose Killer, to me, it strikes me a little bit more as like a double imperial IPA, a triple IPA, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's still meeting those descriptors,
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, on 20-point scale, I'm gonna go 15. What do you think?
I'll do a 16 on that one. It's
the
quite
Moose Killer.
bitter, so that matches their description.
Okay. All right, then we got a separate score sheet for the Bigfoot. The Bigfoot was less hop assertive. It wasn't like a
Yes.
punch you in the face, oddly enough.
Right.
But it seemed a little more balanced to me. you know, and it wasn't quite as boozy. So I'm going to go 17 on that one.
And I'll do a 16 on that one.
16?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Mouthfeel. We already kind of talked about this, but... I mean, it's not as thick as, like, an imperial stout, but, I mean, it's pretty hefty. Both of them. I think the Bigfoot has, like, a little bit more mouthfeel.
Mm-hmm. It definitely does, yeah.
The 𝐀𝐦𝐿𝐴 is definitely a little more carbonated. That was one of the first things I noticed on the sip. The Bigfoot was, like, less... I mean, not that, like, these are super effervescent styles, but they're not... They're far from flat.
Right.
You know? So, I'd probably call both beers medium full body, moderate carbonation.
Absolutely. They're definitely medium, full body.
Yeah. Very, definitely a lingering aftertaste. Hops linger, alcohol lingers, but, I mean, it's clean. All right, so... Let's check the specs on mouthfeel. Full-bodied and chewy with a velvety, luscious texture declining with age. Smooth alcohol warmth should be noticeable, but shouldn't burn. Carbonation may be low to moderate depending on age and conditioning. All right, well, they said full-bodied and chewy, and we both said it was like medium full. So, I mean, it's not... Both of these are kind of, you know, not 100% to the specs. Like, when I think full body, I think, like, imperial stout, because, like, you just have, like, the texture there. I mean, as it warms up, it seems to get a little bit thicker.
Uh-huh.
Because it gets, like, stickier.
Well, and they specifically said that it should not burn. I feel like the 𝐀𝐦𝐿𝐴 burns a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't, like... Well, maybe it's just the difference in tolerance. I mean, to me, it doesn't burn. I mean, it's warming, but it's not... I've had way worse, you know? All right, so let's start with the 𝐀𝐦𝐿𝐴 mouthfeel. I'm gonna say 3. It seems a little too hot and a little light in body.
Yeah, I'll give that one a 3 as well.
Okay. All right, and for the Bigfoot, it had a little more body to me, but it still wasn't straight up full bodied like they said.
Mm-hmm.
But it was very smooth and. It was just a little bit more drinkable. I'm going to give that a 4. It's not a 5, though.
I'll give it a 5.
Okay. All right, overall, well, we'll start with Bigfoot since we're on this page. But to me, this is like about a 9 out of 10 right now. What do you think?
I'll also give that a 9 out of 10.
9?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty high.
All right, so let's switch over to the 𝐀𝐦𝐿𝐴. I've had this beer before. I really liked it in the past. I mean, I like it right now. To me, it's like not quite as good as Bigfoot, but I mean, it's really good. I'm going to go 8 on that one.
Gonna shoot a little low. I'll do a 7.
7?
Mm-hmm.
All right, give us a minute to add up these scores, and we'll be right back. All right, so for the Bigfoot, it's funny, we had different stats, but I mean, they're very, very similar. We're only off by a point on each metric, or 2 of them. And we both ended up with a 42. You know, that's really good. I mean, this is a 50-point beer when it's just at the perfect age and all that stuff. So the Tampa Bay 𝐀𝐦𝐿𝐴, we both went 38. That's really good. So that's like the difference between a B, like, so the 𝐀𝐦𝐿𝐴 would be like a B minus, and this would be or the B plus, and this would be like an A minus. You know, I mean, this definitely is. Sorry, I don't want to block your face. The Bigfoot is, you know, one of the last surviving examples of this style. It seems like nobody makes it anymore. Only like regional breweries. But yeah, these are both really good. Really hoppy, but I look forward to coming back and trying these again at Christmas. I would recommend both beers. What do you think?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, with the preference for the Sierra Nevada.
Yeah. Although I do like the can and a full 16 ounces, not just 12 ounce. You're going to get crunk on this thing.
This is my first barley wine experience.
Really?
It is, yeah.
Oh, well, I'll have to try some English barley wines. They're a totally different experience.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, that does it for this episode of Tuesday Night Beer School. If you watched all the way in, you know you're awesome. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.
Somebody brewed it. Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Reviews. Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.